I heard the generator roar to life in my backyard. And let me tell you, I figured I'd just save my family from freezing solid during the worst winter storm Minnesota had coughed up in 3 decades. Never in my wildest dreams did I think it would light up the whole damn neighborhood with controversy. I'm Vincent Sinclair. And before this blizzard rolled in, I'd spent 3 years in Riverside Meadows just quietly minding my own business until February of 2026, when the polar vortex rolled over the Twin Cities like it had a personal grudge. Now, the weather folks had been losing their minds all week. Minus 40 degrees, they said, wind chills, touching minus 60, rolling blackouts, frozen pipes, maybe even deaths if you weren't ready. I wasn't about to let my wife and my 2 kids, just 7 and 9, freeze in their own beds while I could do something about it. 2 days before the first snowflake, I dropped $8,000 on a real generator, 22 kilowatts, natural gas, hardwired automatic switch. Not some clunky thing you drag out of the garage. This was a beast sitting on concrete, plumbed right to the gas line. Pros came out, knocked it together in a day. Come Wednesday night, first flakes swirling in the porch light. My generator was good to go. The kind that'll run forever so long as there's gas, and in Minnesota they bury that stuff deep enough you'd have to be a mole to cut it. Thursday morning, the sky went gray, and then bam. Temperature dropped 20 degrees before breakfast. The wind, well, it sounded like a 747 idling in my driveway. The world vanished in white. By Thursday afternoon, just as those weather guys promised, the grid started sputtering. Lights blinked, died. My kids gasped in the dark. Then 15 seconds later, my brand new generator kicked in, humming like a dream. Furnace, fridge, even the TV all back. Outside, hell had frozen over. Now I should have known the peace wouldn't last. Friday morning there, she was stomping up my walk in knee-deep snow-purple parka, flapping expressions so sour you'd think someone made her eat lemons for breakfast. Patricia Hallbrook, president of the HOA, never worked a day outside her husband's dental office, but she'd spent the last decade turning our subdivision into her own suburban dictatorship. She once fined me for my trash cans being visible at 7:02 a.m., tried to ban my son from biking because he left tire tracks. You get the idea. Before she could jab the bell, I opened the door, caught a lungful of ice air that made my eyes water. "Vincent," she barked, "we need to talk about that generator." "Good morning to you too, Patricia," I said, keeping myself wedged in the doorway. "What about it?" "It's too loud. I can hear it from my house. It's been running non-stop since yesterday. It's unacceptable." I just stared. "Patricia, we're in a historic blizzard. The city's dark. People are freezing. That generator's keeping my family alive." "I don't care," she spat, face pinched. Section 12, paragraph 4. No homeowner shall operate equipment that disturbs the peace and enjoyment of neighboring properties. Your generator violates that provision. "Patricia, it's a state of emergency." "I care," she said, voice like ice chips. "As HOA president, I'm issuing you a formal violation. You have 24 hours to shut it off, or it's $500 a day." I clenched my jaw. "Patricia, if I turn that off, my house will freeze in 3 hours. Pipes will burst. We'll be in danger." She handed me a violation notice already printed out. "If you want to appeal, submit a written request. Hearings in 30 days. 30 days. The storm will be over in less than a week. You should have considered that before you installed that monstrosity without HOA approval. All exterior modifications require written permission. It's a safety device, Patricia, not a lawn gnome. It's visible from the street. That makes it subject to approval. Multiple violations. 24 hours, Vincent. Use them wisely." She tromped off, purple parka, a bobbing bruise in the snow. I just stood there, cold air pouring into my house, staring at that piece of paper like it was written in a foreign language. Sarah, my wife, showed up at my shoulder. "What did Patricia want?" "She wants me to turn off the generator. Says it's disturbing her peace and enjoyment. She's sitting in the dark and freezing. How's she enjoying anything?" Sarah fumed. I looked out the window. Patricia's place was black as a coal mine except a thin trickle of smoke. She's burning wood, I guess. Wants us to do the same. We don't even have a fireplace. "What does she want us to do? Burn the dining table in the bathtub?" I crumpled the violation and tossed it. "Not turning off the generator. She can fine me all she wants." Sarah smoothed the paper. "It's $500 a day. If this lasts a week, that's $3,500. Let her try to collect. No judge in the country siding with her. I'll take her to court if I have to." But I'd underestimated just how far Patricia would go. Friday rolled by. My generator chugged away, keeping us warm, powering up the Xbox, movies, the works. Kids never knew the difference while I shoveled snow and kept an eye on the news-frozen pipes, carbon monoxide poisonings, full shelters, mayor begging anyone with heat to help neighbors. 3 people had already died of hypothermia. That night I went to bed grateful for the generator, angry at Patricia for trying to take it away. Saturday morning I woke to silence. Sat bolt upright. No hum. House warm but cooling. Power was out. Generator dead. I threw on boots and coat, ran to the backyard. The flexible gas line was unscrewed, left dangling. Someone had sabotaged my generator. I could barely feel my fingers as I reconnected it, shaking with cold and rage. Once it was tight, gas hissed. I ran inside, reset the panel, roared to life, house warmed up. Sarah, wrapped in a blanket, looked at me with wide eyes. What happened? Someone disconnected the gas line. Someone sabotaged us. We both knew who. I called the cops, 20 minutes on hold. Dispatcher said they were swamped, hundreds of emergencies, people trapped, medical calls. Unless it was life or death, no one could come. File it online, get a case number. Hollow comfort, but now it was on record. I installed a motion-activated camera, chained the generator shut, salted the snow so footprints would show, hung a sign, area under video surveillance. Trespassers will be prosecuted. Sunday morning, the camera pinged my phone. Patricia standing at my fence reading the sign. She stared, turned, walked off. I muttered, "Got you." By Sunday afternoon, the HOA board sent me an email emergency meeting. Monday morning, Patricia's house, subject my generator. Monday, minus 38 degrees, still snowing, no power. Patricia's house was lit by candles, every board member bundled in parka's, breath showing in the air. "Thank you for coming, Vincent," Patricia said, tone formal, cold. "I'm not staying long," I said, standing. "It's freezing. Let's get this over with." The whole crew, shivering, laid out the charges. Operating a commercial-grade generator without approval. Continued operation despite violation notice. It's backup, not commercial. Keeping my family from freezing. No exceptions for backup generators, Donald, the board lawyer, chimed in. All permanent modifications need approval. You didn't apply. I had 48 hours before the storm hit. I did what I had to. Rules exist for everyone, Jennifer, blue-lipped, managed. I looked around. Why are you all sitting here freezing? Why not a shelter? Hotel, anywhere with heat? That's none of your concern, Patricia sniffed. It is, I said. You're suffering because you're too stubborn to admit maybe, just maybe, a working generator during a blizzard is a good idea. Instead of being grateful, you want to drag me down to your level. You're out of order, Patricia snapped. Fine. My position, I'm not turning off or removing the generator, not paying your fines. Take me to court, I'll see you there. Robert, quiet until now, said, we don't want this to escalate. I laughed. You issued a violation for keeping my family alive. Someone sabotaged my equipment. Nothing amicable here. That's a serious accusation, Patricia bristled. I filed a police report, installed cameras. Next time I'll have proof. Susan, the quiet one, suggested a compromise: run the generator only from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And let my house freeze at night, pipes burst. No thanks. Space heaters aren't safe or reliable. Donald pressed, you're in violation of multiple provisions. My suggestion: drop this. Acknowledge emergency situations need emergency measures. We can talk compliance when the power's back. For now, back off. Patricia stood, chair scraping. We'll vote. You'll get our decision tonight. Meeting adjourned. I trudged home through snow, lungs burning. That night, an email: unanimous decision, cease operation immediately or $1,000 per day in fines plus legal action. I forwarded it to my lawyer, Marcus Webb, wrote back to the board, I respectfully decline. Generator stays on as long as power's out. Take me to court. I'll defend myself vigorously. And just like that, I was done playing nice. Tuesday, storm started to break. Neighbor Frank Patterson knocked. Hey, Vincent, heard Patricia's telling everyone you're ruining the neighborhood. Truth is, most of us think she's nuts. We'd kill for a generator right now. Frank grinned. I'm putting together a petition to remove her as president. Got 15 signatures already. I felt hope for the first time. You'd really do that? Absolutely. She fined me $200 last year over the color of my roses. Keep running your generator, he said. Let me handle the politics. Within 2 weeks, Frank had 68 signatures, enough for a special election. Meanwhile, Patricia doubled down. The HOA's lawyers demanded $7,000 in fines, remove the generator, or face more penalties. Marcus, my lawyer, said we had a shot. State law put safety over HOA rules in emergencies. But he warned, it won't be cheap or quick. But I think you're in the right. In the neighborhood, people started dropping notes in my mailbox. Thank you for giving us hope. Do not let them bully you. Carol Armstrong, 1289 Riverside Drive. Never met her, but that note stayed on my fridge. Power came back 6 days later. My generator shut off. Emergency over, but the battle was just heating up. The story blew up local Facebook, then the Star Tribune. TV crews, interviews, neighbors rallying. Patricia became a punchline for petty tyranny. Stories poured out, wind chimes, Halloween decorations, all her old violations. The tide turned. April special election. Frank won by a landslide. Patricia and her cronies ousted. First order of business, reverse. All my violations pass a rule allowing generators. The lawsuit dropped. But karma wasn't done yet. Police investigated the generator tampering. Turns out Patricia had sabotaged not just mine, but 5 others caught on camera footprints tools. She disconnected a family's generator powering an infant's medical equipment. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but the county wasn't playing. She was arrested, tried, convicted, 6 months in jail, 2 years probation, $15,000 in restitution. Her husband filed for divorce 2 weeks later. Winter came and went. I kept the generator tuned ready. Frank stopped by, gave me a nod. You changed things, Vincent. People aren't scared to stand up anymore. The board actually listened to a homeowner and changed a rule. That's how it should work. HOAs are supposed to serve, not rule. I stood at my kitchen window, coffee in hand, snow falling softly outside. My generator sat silent, ready but unneeded. The neighborhood felt lighter. Kids played. Lights shone from every house. And I realized something: communities work best when people come before rules. When leaders forget that they need to be reminded at the ballot box in court, or sometimes just by standing your ground. I never set out to lead a revolution. I just wanted to keep my family warm. But when you stand up for what's right, sometimes you find out you're not alone. That's what happened in Riverside Meadows. The right thing was also the hard thing. But it changed everything. Patricia learned her lesson the hard way. She thought her authority was ironclad. She was wrong. Her story's a warning: nobody's above the law, not even the queen of the HOA. Actions have consequences, and power abused will come back to bite. That morning, I found my generator sabotaged. Something in me changed. I stopped being scared. I stopped playing nice. I realized sometimes you have to be the first one to speak up, and you know what, others will join you. Frank, Carol, dozens of neighbors, they stood up too. The system worked. We didn't just save one family, we saved a whole community from pettiness and fear. Now we've still got an HOA, still got rules, but they're reasonable, flexible, common sense. The board listens. Exceptions are made. People matter more than compliance. Patricia left a legacy, just not the one she wanted. She taught us by her example what not to do. Her downfall wasn't something to gloat over. It was sad, really. All that time obsessed with control. In the end, she lost everything. But her choices were hers alone. She picked rules over people, and the community answered. Sometimes I remember standing in that frozen backyard gas line, dangling generator dead, fear and anger colliding in my chest. That's the day I decided to fight. Looking back, I made the right call. Didn't know I'd win. Didn't know anyone would stand with me. But I knew protecting my family mattered more than pleasing the HOA. That's the real lesson. Not that rules don't matter. Not that all HOAs are bad. Just that sometimes you have to do the hard, unpopular thing because it's right. Sometimes you stand alone for a while. But if your cause is just people will see it, they'll stand up too. And when the next storm rolls in, I'll fire up that generator with zero regrets. I'll protect my family, and I won't worry about petty tyrants or their threats. Because now I know when you're right, truly right, others will stand with you. That's how my generator became the spark that changed Riverside Meadows forever. So where do you draw the line between following the rules and protecting your own? Is it worth going to war with your neighbors for what you believe in? Or is there a time to just let it go? Let me know down below. What would you have done? Ever tangled with an HOA or had to stand up for your rights? Drop your story in the comments. I read everyone.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.